Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast, You Are the Holder of the Dream. And this came up today when I got a phone call from an old client of mine. When I met her, she was employed by a company that she didn't like. She was in advertising. She found the culture to not be very caring. She found it stressful. She felt she was overworked and underpaid. And what she really wanted to do was she wanted to be a professional fitness instructor. And it felt so far off. She would go to these classes and there would be these famous instructors and they would inspire all these people. And that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to inspire people to be more fit, to be more healthy. She didn't want to sit and call influencers all day long and see if they want to market certain products. But it felt so far away. And every time we spoke, she would tell me why she was stuck, why she couldn't move forward, why it wasn't possible. And that's one of the reasons why we feel stuck, is sometimes we take our entire life on in one moment. We can't possibly see how something is going to happen. So it's easier to stay where we are. It's easier not to do anything different. And we don't realize how long it could take to change our lives, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. So each time we spoke, we talked about that dream and we started to give her permission to have that dream without negativity, with heart, and to start to love it and encourage it. And then we also started to think about what she can do to make it happen. And so while she was working at this advertising firm, she took a class to become a certified instructor. And she finished that class and then COVID hit. And she started to feel that living in New York City was no longer good for her. So she moved down to Florida without much of a plan. She ended up starting her own social media company, and she started making fitness videos on TikTok and Instagram. And as she let people know about her interest and what she wanted to do, she started to land certain jobs that were more aligned with the fitness industry. And she had her marketing company that she was doing on the side. And today she called me 3 years almost to the day to tell me she is starting on Sunday. And now she will be a fitness instructor at one of the most prominent gyms down in Florida, doing exactly what she wanted to do. And this is the beginning of her becoming an instructor. This is the beginning of her having her own studios. This is the beginning of her developing her own types of workouts, having private clients. This is what she totally dreamed of. And it took 3 years. And there were many twists and turns. But the dream stayed alive, and she didn't allow herself to feel stuck. She kept moving. Every time she hit a roadblock, she made another decision that she felt aligned with what she needed to do. And it was not easy. The path to change is not always easy. The path to change sometimes has many obstacles, but the key is to keep the dream alive. It's almost like there's a guiding light in the future, and she kept the dream alive. She had no idea how she was going to get there, but she kept moving, and she kept believing, and she kept working on herself. And that's something people often don't see. Just because they don't see the goal happening, they don't realize that the work we do on ourselves, when we start to love ourselves more, when we start to doubt ourselves less, when we start to believe in our abilities, we show up differently every day. And we attract different things, and we choose different things. And I know I've said this before, but change happens sometimes so slowly we can't even see it. She didn't even really see how life was changing. She didn't really see how she was building her way towards this fitness job. All she knew is that she was working on herself, doing what felt aligned, and slowly but surely, this goal came true. But a lot of people would have given up after year 1, after year 2. And in fact, it's kind of quick, 3 years to achieve such a goal. And I'm so excited to see where she goes from here. And the reason I bring this up today is that sometimes the reason people don't start is because it's so overwhelming to achieve a goal. So overwhelming to a point that we don't do it because we can't see the path. But every day, step by step, one thing, one thought, one action. And I promise you it will add up. The only reason we're stuck is because we say that we are. The only reason we're stuck is because we believe it. Because we can't see a way out of it, we believe there's no way. And then we sit and then we forget, and then years go by and we don't have the life that we want. So allow yourself to dream. Will we achieve all our dreams? Maybe not. But which ones can we achieve? And yes, sometimes we made choices in the past that make it hard to make changes. There are things in our lives that seem like obstacles, and maybe they are, but it doesn't mean you can't overcome the obstacle. Don't ever let a day go by where you don't tap in to your deepest passion. Let that drive you. When you live in that place, you will be fearless. When you live in that place, every day you'll make a move. And you'd be surprised. Some days I could read a book and I could say, wow, that was so inspirational, and I feel like I move forward on my passion. One day I do something really brave and courageous. Well, I built that muscle a little bit to pursue my passions. And some days I actually work on my projects, or I'll come up with something new. And every day I believe that I could have the life that I want, and every day I believe it could happen, and every day I refuse to believe that I'm stuck. And every day I refuse to believe that things are not possible. I am moving towards my goal. And the same goes for you. Look at the stories that you tell about your life. Look at the things you say cannot happen. Look at the reasons why you say it can't. Look at the people you say are standing in your way. Most of the time, we stand in our own way because we don't believe we could have what we want. We don't believe we can make the changes. We don't believe that things are possible. But when we stop saying we're stuck, when we stop saying things are hard, when we start believing our dreams are true, and every day we do something for ourselves to be that person we need to be, to take an action towards that dream, to take an action that aligns with our heart every single day, you are moving closer. If it takes 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, as long as you're living in that passion every day, it's going to lead you someplace. But I know those days where we let that dream go because we believe it can't be, because the mountain looks too high, because there are too many rejections, there are too many problems, because life has not shown us that it is possible. We need to show up and say, yes, it is. I can do this. I can change my life. I just need to stay connected to what I truly want. Change happens slowly. Change happens over time. Change happens when we prepare ourselves to be in that place we want to get to. Change happens when we believe in ourselves, when we take leaps, when we start new things, when we create things that people think are impossible. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Don't be afraid of uncertainty, because that's where that dream lives. Every day say, I'm so thankful I don't know what's going to happen next, because that means I could still achieve my goal. Everything I dream that is possible exists in the unknown future. And every time you hit an obstacle, let that passion, let that dream overcome that. Let your resilience overcome that. Sit in that unknown and just keep trying to find a way forward, and eventually you will. You are the holder of the dream. That is your responsibility. And when you tell the story you are stuck, you are not holding your dream. When you tell the story that you're stuck, you're not believing in the unknown. You're not believing in the possibilities. You're not believing that you have the capability to change your life. The story that you are stuck is your story. You forgot the miracle. You forgot that you have what it takes. You forgot your passion. Just every day, just wake up and hold on. Make the most of the day. Take a step forward, whatever it may be. Keep that heart open and keep believing, because your dreams are real and you are not stuck. And I know that because the future hasn't been written. And that dream exists in the unknown future. You can't tell me it doesn't, because you don't know. And because you don't know, that means it's possible. You hold on to that every single day, just like my client, just like me. I believe in you. You need to believe in you, because for all you know, maybe the best is yet to come. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.